Joining me right now is lead pastor Kirsten Kroeker from Lake Baptist Church here in Winnipeg. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Glad to be here. Thanks, Vanessa.
Awesome. So, we are talking about I Love to Read Month. We are asking different pastors what their favorite books are. So, that's my first question to you. What is your favorite book so far?
Oh, there's always lots, but one that I really have appreciated and that stuck with me is called With by Skye Jethani.
Awesome. And so, what is it kind of about? Can you give us a little synopsis?
Yeah, it's about how we relate to God. And so we often think about our relationship with God as what we do for God, or how we please God, how we live under him, or sometimes, unfortunately, how we want to manipulate God so that he can do what we want. And he just reframes that in saying, um, our call is to live with God, not under him, not above him, not all of these other things, but to do life with God. And it's such a challenging book in that I found my own upbringing reflected in some of his critiques, but also a refreshing book in his vision for what life with God looks like. Is such a joyful and welcoming picture that it's really stuck with me over the years as the way I want to live.
That sounds like a very good book and probably a reminder that a lot of us need sometimes.
Yeah, and he's
Is
he's
there
really a great writer, so it's not too academic. It's a kind of book that's pretty accessible, which I appreciate.
Awesome. Good to know. From the book, is there kind of like a specific quote or maybe like one specific part from the book that really captured your attention?
You know, it's actually been a few years since I've read it. I chose it because of the impact it had on me. So I couldn't quote it off the top of my head, but I find myself often reflecting on, is this a with God moment, or is this, or what stance am I coming here?
Awesome. So for some people, they may not read on a regular basis, but is there kind of anything that you would say to encourage people to start reading or give it a try?
Yeah, well, I think reading can be easier or harder depending where you start. There's some books that I only would recommend to people who have a passion for reading, and others that I'd say, nah, anyone could take this up. Um, so speaking of Skye Jethani, he's got another series called "What If Jesus Was Serious," and those are mostly doodles with small devotional thoughts. So if you're not a reader, try one of his "What If Jesus Was Serious" series, because I know we read them with our, at that time they were 9 and 10-year-old daughters, and they were able to handle it pretty easily. And yet it's deep thoughts for all ages. So yeah, if you're not a reader, maybe start with something that's not that dense or heavy, but is still full of really good truth. And that would be one of my recommendations.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Kirsten. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Vanessa.